Hey guys, it's Brett. Thanks for stopping by my channel and the first edition of what I'm calling the Tuesday Laydown. This is a chance for me to discuss some of the books that are coming out on subsequent Tuesdays, which are the typical laydown days for books, as well as check in, tell you about what I'm currently reading, what I'm looking forward potentially to reading, and who knows what else will come up. This week I'm going to share some book mail as well as the other things I've already discussed. So let's do it. All right, so what I thought I would do is start off with 3 books that are being released today that hold particular interest for me. There are 2 works of nonfiction and 1 work of fiction. The first is David Milch's life's work. David Milch is a television writer and producer who created Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blue, as well as HBO's Deadwood. A few years ago, David was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and decided to write his autobiography about his career before the disease robbed him of all of his memories. This week in the Sunday Times, they did a great profile of him, talking about how he is currently living in an assisted living facility with his wife about 20 minutes away. But it really excited me to read the book. I wanted to read it anyway, but after reading this, I really can't wait to get into it. So that's the first. The second nonfiction book that I'm really excited about is Rachel Aviv's Strangers to Ourselves, Unsettled Minds and the Stories That Make Us. I will give you a little preview. It says, in Strangers to Ourselves, a powerful and gripping debut, Rachel Aviv draws on deep original reporting as well as unpublished journals and memories to ask fundamental questions about how we understand ourselves in periods of crisis and distress. This also is getting amazing pre-publication buzz. This was a gift from FSG Books. Thank you very much. So again, I'm really excited about this one, also out today. The last book is a work of fiction, and it's one that I had previously discussed in my 10 books to get excited about this fall. It is Ian McEwan's Lessons, which follows a man over the course of his life with a background of historical events that kind of coincide. So it sounds terrific. Really excited about this one. All 3 of those are out today. What I'm reading this week? Well, I'm currently about halfway through The Marriage Portrait. I will say to you, if you've never read Maggie O'Farrell before, first of all, Hamnet was I've said this before, it was my favorite book from 2 years ago. This thing is as good, if not even better. You know, you read a lot of books and you're like, wow, that's a great book. I really thought it was terrific. And then you come across a writer who is just another level, frankly. And that is Maggie O'Farrell to me. She is an extraordinary writer, an extraordinary storyteller. I say this all because, and I also wanted to say, like, these are accessible stories. They're not inaccessible books. They're just amazing stories. I'm going to just read you so you know what it's about. Her little note at the start of the book. Historical note. In 1560, 15-year-old Lucretia di Cosmo de Medici left Florence to begin her married life with Alfonso II d'Este, Duke of Ferrara. Less than a year later, she would be dead. The official cause of her death was given as putrid fever, but it was rumored that she had been murdered by her husband. So the book starts on right after her wedding day. She's been with her husband, not right after her wedding day, but she's been with her husband. She's beginning to suspect that he wants to kill her. And then it's all flashbacks to her as a child, growing up to the point because she gets married at 15. It's great. It's so great. It's so great. There is an incredible sequence in the beginning with a tiger, which I could just go on about. I do have to show you guys because I'm a freak. I love these special edition books. This is the Waterstones, and there's the tiger. The Waterstones limited edition, which I had got. I will tell you that when it first came, it was so, I think because of the heat, it was so swollen in this slipcase that I truly thought it was like a joke, like I was never going to get it out. But it says in the back, it was always said that you had charmed the beast. And I have to show you the inside boards. They're like just beautiful. It looks like incredible wallpaper. But anyway, that's the Waterstone special edition. And I'm so glad I got it, because truly, what a special book. All right, so the other thing that I am finishing up right now, I've been listening to on audio and as well as reading it, is Erika Sanchez's Crying in the Bathroom, her memoir. It's terrific. I never read I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. I've heard great things about it, and I certainly will read it now. It's just, this is great. And I wish more people would get their hands on it. I haven't seen it on Instagram. I haven't seen it on TikTok. I really haven't seen this much anywhere, but more people need to be reading this and talking about it, because it's a really terrific book. So those are the two things that I'm reading in the immediate. Then some titles that I just got from Book Mail that I wanted to share with you. I'm excited about. First of all, I love the title of this so much, which is called Didn't Nobody Give a Shit What Happened to Carlotta? Written by James Hannahan. James Hannahan wrote Delicious Foods, which I didn't read, but I heard it was great. This book centers on a transgender woman who was wrongfully accused of a crime and sent to prison. And the book starts when she gets released, kind of her re-entry into society. First of all, I think the cover is fantastic. I think the title is fantastic. It's what totally drew me in. So I'm hoping that this is good. But I feel like it's going to be, because like I said, I know his other book was really well received, and so excited about this one. Then Stephen King's Fairy Tale. Stephen King is probably one of the first authors as a kid that really got me reading. I remember distinctly going to the library with my mom and going home and reading at like 14 or 15 the book Carrie, and it's scaring the bejesus out of me, but I was suddenly enthralled, and every time his new book came out I had to have it. I've stuck with almost every single book that Stephen King has written. I think he's somebody that gets pigeonholed, and people say, oh, he writes horror novels, so he's not that great of a writer. And I would absolutely say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. He's a great writer, and I can give you 10 titles that would prove that he's such a fantastic writer. The fact that this man is still churning out these stories is unbelievable. This one he wrote during the pandemic. What he said was, I wanted to write a book that would make me happy, and this is that book, about a boy who goes on a quest when he finds out there's an alternate world, and I think he has to save his father. So he has to save someone, that he always do. And with his companion, the dog. I love the design of this cover that looks like a dragon's eye to me. So excited about that. This book, On the Red Hill by Mike Parker, I saw this on Simon Savage's page, the Savage Reads. He always comes up with the most interesting books to me. And so when he was describing this, I thought to myself, I need this book immediately. And what it's about, I'm going to read you this. In early 2006, Mike Parker and his partner, Peridor, were witnesses at the first civil partnership ceremony in the small Welsh town of some very involved name that I'm not even going to try to butcher on this channel for you. The celebrants were their friends Reg and George, who had moved to the deepest rural Wales in 1972, not long after the decriminalization of homosexuality. When Reg and George died within a few weeks of each other in 2011, Mike and Peridor discovered that they had been left their home, a whitewashed house from the children's stories buried deep within the hills. They had also been left a lifetime's collection of diaries, photographs, letters, and books, all revealing an extraordinary history. So then what the book really becomes, and if Simon ever sees this video, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but it becomes the story of the two men who take residence there, but also the two men who had residence there, as well as the town and its inhabitants. It sounds so just lovely and beautiful, and I can't wait. So excited for that. Shy, the alarmingly outspoken memoirs of Mary Rodgers. Mary Rodgers, for those of you who don't know, it was the daughter of Richard Rodgers and a lyricist in her own right. She wrote the show Once Upon a Mattress. Most of you are probably like, Once Upon a what? The show was on Broadway and starred then a young actress named Carol Burnett. But this is her biography. It's supposed to be fantastic, and she is supposed to be a hoot and so smart and funny. FSG, when they published it, had no idea that this book was going to be so popular, and they sold out so fast. It came out right at the same time as the Jeanette McCurdy, and both books were like gone. So anyway, it's back in stock, and for those of you who have an interest in the Broadway, this would be for you. Dirtbag Massachusetts. I have no idea. Okay, here's the thing. I saw this book. I saw an interview with Isaac Fitzgerald. I'd never read anything by Isaac Fitzgerald. Never heard of Isaac Fitzgerald. For those of you who don't know, Isaac Fitzgerald appears frequently on the Today Show and is the author of the bestseller children's book How to Be a Pirate, as well as the co-author of the Pen and Ink and Knives and Ink, winner of an IACP award. His writing has appeared in the New York Times, The Guardian, The Best American Non-Required Reading, the Boston Globe, and numerous other publications. This is his bio. He can you hear my dogs? He's been an altar boy, a bartender, a fat kid, a smuggler, a biker, a prince of New England. But before all that, he was a bomb that exploded in his parents' lives. I'm really excited about this. Fantastic cover again. I'm someone, as I've said before, who will totally judge a book by their cover and totally buy a book for its cover. My last book I'm going to share with you today, a young adult thriller called The Honeys by Ryan LaSala. I didn't read Ryan LaSala's other book, which was called Bedazzled. This one is about a gender non-binary half of a twin. His sister dies, and his sister had gone to a very exclusive camp that his kind of very conservative parents really didn't want him to go to, but he muscles his way in effectively to find out what happened to his sister, and he comes in contact with a group of girls known as the Honeys. So what happens? So it sounds totally fun, totally, escapist, Pretty Little Liar-esque kind of, we'll see. I have no idea, but a lot of people I've seen on Bookstagram have really enjoyed this, so I was like, I want to try the Honeys. So that's it for this edition for this week. I will see you next Tuesday with some brand new titles that will be coming out, maybe some more book mail, who knows. In the meantime, I hope you all have a good rest of your week. I will see you soon. And thanks again for stopping by. If you've liked what you've seen, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon.